prostate health consultation for early registrants, dental checkup, professional cleaning, fun games and exciting activities with great prizes, all in a laid-back brotherly atmosphere filled with good vibes and great people. Rate 1,250 Ghana cedis. Special discounts are available for men's groups and fellowships. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 or 0243 664623. Registration closes on June 25th. Bring your brother, your dad, your son, a mentor, or that father figure who's made an impact in your life. Come, celebrate the strength, the journey, and the bond of men at ManCode Festival. Brought to you by Sunny FM with support from Fidelity Bank, Kinsman Shoes, Star Bites, J. Ray Gatti Fashion House, Izel Fashion, Beaver Health Group.
88.7 FM, the station that speaks to your spirit.
Next. Okay. Have you ever told a lie?
No, I never lie.
Never?
Well, there was this once.
Next. Have you ever stolen anything?
Well.
Next. Have you ever had adulterous thoughts?
Yeah, lots of times.
Hang on a second. I think the door is stuck. Could you jump up and down a couple times?
Okay.
Let's try this again. Have you ever taken God's name in vain?
Lots of times before I became a Christian.
You trusted Jesus Christ to pay for your sins?
Yeah.
Mister, your penalty's already been paid. You're in the wrong line.
Oh, sorry.
Next.
I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior also.
Liar.
A message from Sunny 88.7 FM.
88.7 FM, the station that speaks to your spirit.
In a world where men carry so much, every now and then they need a moment to breathe, connect, and be refreshed. Join Sunny FM for ManCode Festival, the ultimate men's hangout, happening Saturday, June 28th at the Alisa Pavilion from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is a space for men to unwind, reflect, and recharge. Come and enjoy authentic, thought-provoking ManCode conversations, buffet lunch, comprehensive free health screenings, including blood pressure and blood sugar checks, body mass index assessment, prostate health consultation for early registrants, dental checkup, professional cleaning, fun games and exciting activities with great prizes, all in a laid-back brotherly atmosphere filled with good vibes and great people. Rate 1,250 Ghana cedis. Special discounts are available for men's groups and fellowships. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 or 0243 664623. Registration closes on June 25th. Bring your brother, your dad, your son, a mentor, or that father figure who's made an impact in your life. Come, celebrate the strength, the journey, and the bond of men at ManCode Festival. Brought to you by Sunny FM with support from Fidelity Bank, Kinsman Shoes, Star Bites, J. Ray Gatti Fashion House, Izel Fashion, Beaver Health Group.
Well, glad to welcome you to today's series of for ManCode. Yes, right here on the iMDRIVE. We're joined by two incredible guests who are sharing the lessons they wish they had learned much earlier. And this I'll be having Subri. Subri, good morning. Welcome to the iMDRIVE.
Good morning, JJD.
CEO of Subway Live and Gobe Friday. He's been blessing us. And we also have Douglas Oppong Pepprah, the events coordinator right at Sunny 88.7 FM. Douglas, it's good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I think I need your microphone. Yeah.
Yeah, good morning.
He's the only person who calls me Miss J, and I really like the name Miss J. So we're excited to tap into the experiences this morning and insights. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. We'll also be live. Actually, we are live on Sunny TV, so you can join in the conversation. So these are young men, these are dads who have their families, and they're living the life of fathers. But they're going to be sharing with us what it was like growing up with their dads, some lessons they wish they had learned earlier from their dads or their dads had taught them. And yeah, some lessons they wish they had learned much earlier. Maybe dad was trying to teach them, but then normal son tissue. But now they're like, hey, this thing. All right, yo, I think we just adjust your microphone a
Mic a
little bit
little.
so it goes up. Yeah,
Good.
so we can hear. Good,
All
good,
right.
good. All right, so gentlemen, welcome to our ManCode series. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
for having
So who
us.
do we start with? Left, right, left, right.
More like a guest.
Yeah.
I'm actually home. I'm
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
guest.
because, I mean,
actually,
both of
my
you,
journey- anyway,
Yeah, it goes way
Anyway.
back with us. Yeah, what was growing up like for you with your dad? Yeah.
I think my time with my dad was very unique, in that I happened to be the only boy among three
Oh.
girls. So
Number one, number two, number three.
I'm number three.
Number three, okay.
Number three. So I'm Mensa. There's Mensa in my name.
There's
I don't use
Mensa,
the
eh?
X, so number three. And I grew up in Accra. We were born
Okay.
in Accra. So you would expect that an Accra boy would be maybe a dada bar or something like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
this man grew up in Seshiri also, Punicrom, Western North. And coming to Accra didn't change anything
About him.
about him. So he would remind you of when he was walking barefooted. He was walking barefooted about 5 or 10 or whatever miles, kilometers to school, and you are here enjoying these privileges he is giving you, and you should expect nothing else. But so he was that strict, quiet type. Those parents who look at you with your eye and you know very
You get
well
the message.
what you get a message. He had his fun side. He had the times where he would take you for a jolly ride, take you out. I could count the number of times he took us out, but the things people will say about him when he's outside will tell you very well that this man actually knows what he's about.
What is one of those things that you still remember till today?
So it was after my BEC. I was an A student, so I was,
Nice.
we were expecting a lot
And now
from me.
Kobuchi, so
And
yeah,
Kobuchi.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
all right.
we're done with BEC. I was sick. Those were anybody who writes BEC and comes out that I didn't do well. My excuse I give the person was that I was sick. Day 1, day 2, day 3. I think day 4. I think I was trying. Then day 4 and 5. My mom was virtually reading to me.
Really?
Yeah, I was
the
down with
exam
malaria.
room?
No, like before exams.
Okay. Okay.
So I was not learning like I'll take the book and go and learn.
she would read to you.
She would read to me
You owe her a lot.
a lot. I don't know wherever she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I go to I wrote exams. Long and short, I passed, and I was waiting for my results. So he took me out, and we sat down, and he was like, "Yo, I trust you."
Wow.
That word, that sentence, even till writing the tribute, I wrote it in there. That was the very first time he made mention of that word. But I'm sure earlier on, obviously he trusts me, but vocalizing it gave a different flavor altogether to it.
What did that do to you? I don't know if you hear someone say, my dad told me I trust you
I
at that
trust
young
you.
age. How
Yeah,
did that feel?
I felt that sense of responsibility.
Okay.
Because I'm number 3. I have elderly people. I had we were in our own house, so there are responsibilities every child has to go through, chores wise and everything else. But by telling him that he trusts you, that means he trusts you beyond whatever he has entrusted you with, the ones you can see, and the ones when he's out or when he's not in the world, he could trust you with.
I'm curious to know how that has shaped your worldview. I mean, your own life as a person, growing up to be a man now, a father. That word trust that your dad spoke to you many years that you still remember. How has that shaped you?
Okay, so I pride myself with being able to come up with solutions
Okay.
when problems arises. But sometimes I get amazed at some of the things I get to say or think about, and obviously it stems from God, that I can give it to him. But if still coming from the point where the trust comes in, if someone trusts you with something and trusts you with it thereof, you find yourself having that personal responsibility for that thing. So you have there's a situation you are faced up with. So let me just be practical. So my son, now I'm drifting into the boy Yao and man man Yao. Boy Yao, man Yao. So yeah, my son looks up to me a lot of time. Like,
How old is your son?
he's 2 years, getting to 2 years, 5 to 6 months.
All right.
It's 30th January, so I count it by months. So you wake up in the morning. There are certain routines he's built up with you. Like you know that this one. You wake up in the morning, you have to do whatever you have to do. So your devotions and everything. He's looking, he's watching you. You pick up your phone, he's watching. So when you deny him of the phone, he feels that
You're not being fair.
you're not being fair.
Yeah,
We all have a phone. So he will just say,
We all
"My
have a
phone."
quota.
We all have a quota. My phone, the phone is not his.
Yeah,
my
yeah,
phone.
yeah, it's his
My
phone.
phone. At his age, he's able to know that when dad says that, and you don't have to underestimate these ones. They understand everything you say.
That's true.
Everything you do, they look
At 2
up to
years.
you.
Yeah.
So by my dad vocalizing it to me, I have to also, then that's one of the things I learned. I wish I'd learned earlier, or I've learned from him. You have to vocalize. It's not enough showing that you trust someone.
It's important that you say it.
You have to say it. And what it does to the person is to instill that sense of responsibility
On them.
in a person that, yeah, we trust you to be able to do it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have Douglas here, and Douglas' story is, I know your story is also totally a little bit different, maybe totally different, but how was growing up for you, Douglas?
Very different. My story is very different. Different from y'all. Very
So totally was a good way to
Asking-
qualify
yeah,
it.
totally different. Like I was asking why they choose both of us. Very different.
It wasn't planned.
Yeah, because my dad, growing up, I had a few moments with my dad. Like, a few moments. I can count that I've spent only one night with my dad.
One night.
Yeah, one night.
Wow.
And so I grew up, by the time I grew up, I was told that my mother got to know that she was pregnant and they were already divorced.
Oh.
But he stuck around. So he kept coming because of us.
He had sown a
so-
seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to keep checking. So the day that I spent time with my dad, he had come home to visit. I don't actually know why a divorced man still slept over.
He has sown a
I
seed.
think these days I have to. I keep asking myself, so seriously, why did he? I don't know, maybe something was wrong with his car or something, but he slept over that night. And that night I was making so much noise, and he woke up at night to shut me. I was disturbing. So, but yeah, he came around very often. I mean, well, not often, but there was a regular thing that he did that Christmas time. At least, if nothing at all, Christmas time, he'll bring us toys.
Okay.
He'll bring us these car toys, airplane toys, and take us out to a particular place. And so the last three of us, myself, my two big brothers who I'm just after, will take us out and, I mean, go and have a nice time with us. So those things I remember. I really remember that. I mean, we lived in like a family house where my mother and the other aunties and their children are there. But it looks like our dad wasn't around much, but we sort of looked different. Like sort of a little bit upscale, because my dad would always come in his car, pick us, go and bring us back. And we had toys because he brought toys and all of that. So even though he wasn't around, he made us feel a little special
When it was
among
important,
our
he showed up.
cousins, right?
At which age did you find out that mom and dad were divorced? Because, I mean,
Older, way older.
like how old?
Like maybe JHS.
Oh.
Because we started going to the boarding house very early.
Okay.
I was in the boarding house like 4 years.
Wow.
No, not 4 years. I'm in class 4.
Still, wow.
Yeah.
And so the three of us, myself, Kojo Ajman, and myself, were in the same school. So they were taking care of me more like. And because my mother didn't really have a time, she was traveling around. She was more like a missionary, a midwife, but going from places to places, set up hospital, and then also, we'll set up something like a fellowship, church stuff, all those two together most of the time. So he didn't want us to be with her all the places that so vacation we were with her, and then
you were in school. That was more stable.
Yes, she wasn't stable. Her work wasn't stable. So, and so that was the time that I got to know that my mother comes differently, my dad comes differently.
Okay.
So I began to understand why they are not together. That was the time that maybe getting to JHS, I began to figure out that these people are not together.
They're not together.
Yeah. So.
So while Dad would come on a very important days, bring the toys, how was it like for you? Did you have a father figure you're looking up to? Were you looking up to your older brothers? How were you trying to figure things out? For somebody like Yao, whose dad was there to tell him, I trust you, you didn't quite have that. So how did you navigate things?
So I can't actually remember statements from my dad, actually, unfortunately. The one that I remember, statement that I remember from him was about marriage. Actually stuck with me, but that one was he told me about a particular tribe that they were in the office with a man. That he said, don't go there because the man treated they had an appointment with the UN, and then he was, he's a brilliant guy. He was third of 5 people that wrote an exam in the office to go for a UN appointment, and then by the time he got there, the third person's name had changed from him to another person.
Mercy.
Wow.
And then it was a particular tribe that all the people in the office and the superior were. So he just suspected that. So he said, these people did.
So it was an alliance.
Yeah. These people, if you're marrying, don't
go there.
And for her.
Amphibia.
So that's one of the things I remember. And then, I think when I was studying, so he said, at the point that he thought it was too late, he said he wished that I would study geography because that was his major. He wished that I would study geography, and then he really loved to have set up a tourism company.
Okay.
So he wished, but that time I had different things in mind. It was kind of too late because I was going to the university already. So that's the 2 things I really remember that he told me.
So you never quite had a father figure you were looking up to?
Yeah, it's one of my regrets that I didn't get close to him too much, but I think in the last years of his life, I was the one close.
Okay.
Even though I got to know that he wasn't around too much, and it was because of the divorce. And there was another family. We had to struggle through school and all of that, school fees. My mother had to do all of that, and since I have to go, and now growing up, I realized he wasn't really. He was there. Sometimes he'd come to school and give you a little money. Now I grow up and I understand that he wished he had, because coming all the way,
do more.
Coming all the way didn't mean he despised you, but he didn't have it at that point. He had to share for all the many children. So now I respect that, and I wish that I had learned earlier how to stay close to him. I think I would have learned his lessons of life so much, but I wish I had gotten close, even if he wasn't, because those days I used to go to his house, pick up his things, bring it home, wash it, take it back, and then make my mother cook.
Oh, you were living close?
About some distance. And when they cook, because at that point he was living totally alone. After all the many wives, he was still alone at a point. I think one of the lessons I've learned that if you don't stick to one, with the many, you end up being alone.
You could be alone.
You could be alone because everybody thinks somebody else is taking care of you.
There's nobody else.
There's nobody, absolutely. So I used to go to him, realize he's alone in his apartment, and I'll pick his things, bring it home, wash it, take it back, and then also get food and go and give. Sometimes I'll tell him that, come home and eat the food. I'll intentionally bring so you come. And then when he come, he sit and they will chatter. My mother will chatter. I said, this is what they want to chatter.
Old fire.
Chatters.
Let me get to Yao. Yao, though your stories are different, both of your dads have passed on, and I want to know how that may have impacted your lives in one way or the other, not having them now that you're your dads yourselves.
Yeah. So last 12th of June was his 6th year he passed. Okay, so him being present made quite a difference, but at the same time, there are certain things he made us go through that actually made us quite independent. So, for example, after JHS, I had to work, even though my dad was there. I was working in a comm center in Accra. So I know Makola.
Okay.
I've smelt the pepper and all that. After
You've been pushed around. Hey, boss, I'm coming. You've been pushed around.
And because I was the only boy, I did most of the hard work. Because the girls had to do the soft ones. So naturally, I come up as someone who is very hardworking, diligent at that. So him not being there, these are some of the things that had built me up. And sometimes they have to be out of the scene for you to notice that the things that they were taking you through, or the things that you thought you were being tortured about, and things you were taught about, like, were things that were meant to build you.
Let's talk about some of those things. Maybe two of those lessons.
Two of those lessons. I vividly remember one, my first experience climbing a tree. We had a pawpaw tree behind our building. So when it's ripe, there are two ways to get it. It's either you climb up or you get a long stick to pluck it down. So you are the only boy. He will not tell your sisters to do that. But my younger sister was very adventurous. So one time she climbed it, and I don't know how the story ended. But so he will tell you, and he'll be down there. He'll be down the tree, and you go and climb the building. You go on top. You climb the pawpaw tree. You go up there. And if you know a pawpaw tree very well, as you climb higher, it gets narrower.
Yeah.
So
bend to be.
If you have weight,
you
know what will happen to you. It can just break and just go. But I did it thoughtlessly a lot of times. But one time I climbed, after a long time, when I climbed the tree, I was looking down, I was like, hey, was this what I was doing? And when you pluck it, you have to throw it down. It has to be perfect. You have to throw it so that you will be able to catch it. You don't have to throw it so that you go out of the way. So, and I learned to be courageous very early, and up to now, I noticed that when things come up in terms of danger or anything, sometimes when people are running away from it, I tend to be running towards it because I have to save something out or something, and I get to do that on time or when it's needed. Or sometimes obviously you have to run away from it. But that's
when it's essential, you feel you need to go back, you would go back.
And
before you go on to the next one, let me come to Douglas. Douglas, you didn't quite have dad in your life. Looking back, you're a father now. What are some lessons you wish, if dad had been in your life, would have taught you?
I think the guy had a lot of lessons about women. And I wish I had asked him a lot of questions
about that.
You know, my dad, my mom actually thought us to go close to him at a point. Well, not at a point. She didn't really have much bad things to say about him, right? Except when it was really tough, money matter, and say, call your father, go to your dad, stuff. But my aunties, I think they were holding the sympathetic offense. So they said a lot of things about my dad that, I mean, it'll keep, but so, I mean, we go close because he comes around, so we go to visit and all of that. But I wish I had gotten even closer. I wish I had gotten even closer and asked him a lot of questions. So like I said, in the last years of his life, I was kind of close, and I was trying to get some things out of him. But then I wasn't, that time I was just started uni, so I wasn't.
Your mind wasn't focused on that area.
Now, if it was now, I would have asked him a lot of questions.
What is one of those things you would have asked him about women?
Well,
maybe not necessarily about women, but that question that I've asked him. Yeah, one guy just gave me a look. One of my producers, Eugene, just gave me a hard look. Hey, Douglas, please go ahead.
Well, I mean, the relationship. I mean, relating to women. I mean, I would have asked his regrets and all of that and those things, because I could feel in his eyes that he had regrets about his choices.
You could see it in his eyes.
I could see in his eyes that he had regrets about choices that he made. And I would have loved to hear him tell me about his life, what are his regrets, and what is the benefit. But some of the things that he told me was that our grandfather was rich. He was a hustler, but he was rich. And his generation produced some riches for his sons. That's my my grandfather. So my great-grandfather was rich, but he hustled through. So my grandfather was popular in our hometown in Mampong. He was rich. And my dad, too, was a rich man's son. He said he came to Legon all the way from Kumasi to Accra in their car. Drove, in those days.
Yeah.
And then when he come to school, money was taken out of the car boot for him.
Boot pa.
Yes.
Wow.
And he always tell me, when I was in school, he always tell me, who is in my room? E35 and Sabaho. He always ask me, who is in his room? But I could see that good time produced a weak man.
Why do you say that?
Because there was money, and he was a good-looking guy. I can see his young age photos.
I can see that.
He was a good-looking guy with a rich dad. Money is there. You're also well-educated, going to uni in those days. Those days, all the women will like you, even now. Now it's not much of a legacy to go to uni, but in those days, I could imagine that. I could tell that's how come. He didn't like women.
So you would say that there has to be a balance of having what you need, but also a certain toughness. Would that be it?
Exactly. Yeah. Now, I think for us, his generation, I'm saying because of a book I read, now I'm getting the good time created a soft man.
Yeah.
And so it's created, the soft man is creating a hard time for us children. And this hard time, regardless, is creating strong men like me. I'm thinking having to work early and all of that has created a strong man. A hustler. And I'm praying to God that all the things that I am planning to get, building a house early and all of that, will not make my son weak. So those are is an unconscious lessons that I have learned that he didn't teach me. But I look at his life and look at his generation coming down, and I can see that I have to learn from him otherwise. Because now I think managing my home, my wife, and my children is enough. Apart from being a Christian, it's tough enough to go and add another woman or some side woman.
Yeah. How are you also finding that fine balance between being a loving dad, providing what your children need, and also being that tough dad when it's necessary? How are you managing that?
I think it's very critical in the upbringing of any child or any home. Especially that's what the Bible teaches us. That's what Christianity is all about. You would have to be able to. The truth is that you can't give what you don't have. So when you have the opportunity to impact, we do a lot of this. Fortunately for me, I'm a Sunday school teacher. Before I even became a father, I had children. So some people call me whatever, father of many. So I had to, aside learning, getting to experience the things in the house, learning from the house, and there are certain things that definitely, though if they are present, there are certain things that they do that when you are in Christ or when you have a different life altogether, you would not repeat. You would not want to repeat. You would not want to see it as a cycle in your family. I would not want my child to go through certain things, but at the same time, I would want him to learn certain things like giving feedback, because that was one of the things I learned from my dad. When he sends you out there and you come back, it's either you are saying a yes or a no.
All right.
There's no in between, maybe or something like that. So, and you would have to give a response, and that's the feedback. So, back to Sunday school. When I'm teaching my children, that's Good Shepherd Methodist Church. When I'm teaching my children, I always expect that feedback from them.
All right.
And it translates to the house. When Joy is doing everything, when I talk to him, even when I know that he's not going to talk back, I tell him that, Charlie, are you okay? Then he finds a way to respond.
Okay.
And that's the feedback, the system of feedback in there. And it's very necessary when someone you are given a task or something like that.
In the workplace,
in the workplace, you have to give, no matter the feedback, it can be negative. As I'm here, I got a message from my boss, and I had to give him. I'd sent him a message that I'll be here, but I had to give him a feedback that I would make sure that I get it on my way to my next appointment from here, and it works fine. So we have no option not to be better.
I want to find out from you two what you're seeing as some common pitfalls or mistakes that young men are making today. If there are a few of those that you can share.
Well, yes. I deal with a lot of young people now because I'm a pastor in First Love Church, and First Love is a campus church. So I'm interacting with university people every day, almost every day, like whether online or in person. And I just see some of them, I see myself in them, and I see that you are making the same mistakes that I made. So most of the time, it is my life lesson that I use to teach a lot of them, with the Bible as well. And some of the lessons that I wish I learned earlier is obedience. And the Bible says to obey is better than sacrifice. And there's actually no negotiation about it. Sometimes you think that my mother doesn't understand. Some of these young people will tell you, my mother doesn't understand. These days, this
old
course,
school.
They are old school. This course doesn't really, it's not really profitable and things. But the thing is to obey, just as the Bible said it, is straight. No matter how old school your mother is or your father is, to obey is better than sacrifice. My mother told me when I finished high school and I didn't get the course that I wanted to do. I wanted to do architecture in tech. I'm a Kumasi boy, so I didn't get the course because I didn't pass to the cutoff point.
You didn't get a cutoff.
Architecture takes like straight A's, just like medicine and all of that. So it's a tough one, and I didn't get that, and I really wanted it, and so I wanted to better my course, and I bettered it, but I didn't better. The bettering, it wasn't bettering. It's like I was getting the same thing that could end me. Let me choose another course. So my mother said, whilst you are bettering it, go to training college.
Okay.
Go and train as a teacher. My mother's one of the reasons for telling me that was that, when you go to be a trained teacher, you get a study loan. The government takes care of you whilst you go to study in the uni and stuff like that. You get some loans so my mother, because of the hustle, that was her point, and I saw through that. I'm like, no, it's not I don't like teaching. I don't want to be a teacher. Guess what? Now I want to be a teacher.
You do?
I want to be.
You do
because I teach.
You're living the life, actually.
As a pastor, I teach. I teach. When I finished uni, where I got my national service was a teacher. And I did it so well. I loved it so much that my headmistress wanted me to stay over, and they'll take my name to GS and let me how to teach. Somewhere around Pokwas, I'm like, that time the bank was calling. I had gotten an appointment. But I realized I loved it. I did their first speech and prize giving. They organized the event so well, got Cowbell to sponsor and all of that. And they loved me. They wanted me to stay around. And I was actually enjoying impacting their life. Guess what? When I finished and I went, I had this thing that I put together like Motivate Network. I put a friend of mine and I said, some people are just close to Accra, right here at Pokwase, Katapo. But the lifestyle is very different from the way we are. So let's go back. So I put friends together. We used to go back there to the school and talk to them. These are my friends from the university. And so they tell you, motivate the kids. We want to take you to the high schools around so that you aim high, because a lot of them were aiming to just get an Okada after JHS. And get wanted to let them see
that there could
where
be
life
more.
is more. There's more to life. Wanted to bring them to the airport, to the mall and all of that so that they can aim high. I realize I'm loving it. And even now, I say, if I don't become a full-time pastor, after charter of my marketing, I want to do more and maybe lecture.
And lecture.
I love the teaching has become part. So I'm thinking, my mother told me this.
And you
she was a
listened.
prophet.
And you listened.
She was living God's mind in my life, but I didn't listen.
And you're seeing disobedience amongst your young people
like
now who say, my people don't get me.
Who even they have obeyed is gradually. Some of them are going like, I meet a lot of tech students in some of my outreaches, and I'm like, I say, it's the best thing now because I'm producing a tech podcast, and I'm saying it's one of the, because I've met people, interviewed people, and see the amazing things they're doing with tech, and so you are in the right path, but it's my dad that is telling me I'm not interested, and I'm like, just obey. When you finish and doing it for your mother or for your father,
you
find
move
your
on
path
to
in
you.
your masters or whatever, you realize that you will thank them later.
Because
So I'm
what
thinking
you've learned today,
obedience.
you never lose out, actually.
Yes, you never lose closer. Like now, a lot of people who are holding very good degrees are also wishing they go back to learn something
Certain
in tech
skills.
that is close to whether they are medicine, whatever, because now there's tech in everything.
Let me get to Yao. Yeah, what are some common pitfalls or mistakes you're seeing young men make today?
I think even if we are learning wrongly. So if you don't plan as it said, you plan to fail. So we don't have a lot of people we look up to, good people we look up to, mentors we look up to. You kept on asking Douglas, were there people you were a bit specific to me? Were there male figures or father figures he was looking up to? Yeah. He didn't really answer that question, and that's some of the mistakes we as young people we do. We don't have people we are accountable to. So aside God, who are you accountable to? The person you'll be accountable to should be also accountable to God. So as Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. So these are the two things I can mention. We don't look up to. We don't have people we look up to. And even if we get the free advice in ways of prophecy. So for example, he made mention of his mother advising him to go into that. I had a fair share of that. My mom saw that I played a lot with the computers and all that, and felt I could be a computer scientist or something like that. And so I didn't have any room to say yes or no. My dad wanted me to be a medical practitioner. So he got a cousin to come and sit down and lecture me on that.
Okay.
At the end of the period, I had to choose what I wanted to do. So I was on a path to become a medical practitioner.
Okay.
I did a course. I'm a science bias person.
Okay.
I did molecular biology in UCC and all that. But what do I find myself doing now? I do a lot of administration because that was what my dad was actually doing.
Oh, okay.
My dad was an administrator. He was an accountant, chartered accountant at that. But he was very good in that field. I could see that I borrowed that by assimilation. He was telling me that I should go and do a medical, I was going to do medicine. But when it got there, the bills scared us. Like, go and pay. I got admission at UDS to go and do medicine. But Charlie, I share bill now.
It was a lot.
And that's one of the things that I learned from him. You have to be able to. There's a place where you live within your means, all right. But you should be able to also be content with what you have.
Abound and abase.
Yeah. So there were times I got opportunities to be sponsored by maybe uncles or something who were very good. But at the end of the period, he looked at, hey, you were not able to do that. And these are some of the few things we learned. So for young men who are out there, let's subject ourselves to be taught and to be mentored. And to be, I have a few mentors. Okay. Some of them are dead, but I learned a lot. I managed to learn a lot from them, even outside my dad. I borrowed a lot of methods out there. And that's what has made us who we are today.
We're just about wrapping up the conversation. We have a few minutes to go. But Douglas, I mean, you're a pastor now. I mean, you're guiding all these young people, and you have some mentors you're also looking up to now. How does it feel to have them in your life at this stage? I mean, I'm sure you wish you had them much earlier, but it's never too late.
Exactly. I mean, I'll start from my big brother. Okay. I'll not take him out. My big brother, the first of us, all of us 7. I mean, he grew up early enough to be the father. And he was an amazing one. Wow. Even as a young man. I mean, his name is Douglas.
He stepped up the role.
So Reverend Douglas, I took Reverend Douglas' name, and I'm thinking the name is making something.
It's turning into a reverend as well.
Right. So he took me to school, like everything that a father has to do.
He stepped into that.
Like going to, kindergarten, whatever. I mean, the beating of my life that I've gotten is from my big brother.
He showed up.
Yeah, so you can see I'm the last of 7. He's the first of 7. So you can see the difference. So he could easily be my father.
Yeah.
But he was the one that the dad supported my mother throughout. And I mean, he taught me a lot of the lessons that I know in life. He taught me. I mean, there was days that he went, those that we used to go to the boarding house quite early, he would say that very soon the life, you'll be living it on your own.
Yeah.
He was telling me this as a class 6 person. I
Preparing
didn't-
you.
Yes, and right after high school, I said, whoa, you're living the life on your own.
The what he
It
said.
came so early. I didn't think that it would
Too-
come down
too early.
Too early.
Mm.
So I look up to him a lot, and I go back a lot. I ask him a lot of questions and all of that. But by the grace of God, moving to Accra after high school and getting into Lighthouse, also I came to learn a whole lot. Because when I came into Lighthouse, I realized that the life is very different from what I learned. The things I began to learn from being in Lighthouse was exposure. I realized that, I mean, it's sort of an elite church.
Mm.
A lot of these pastors have branched into the ministry from very high
Yes.
professional jobs. And you can see their children are very exposed, very outspoken.
Doing
I
very
was
well.
a timid, quiet person. And some of the things, sometimes, even now, when we go into some high-level meetings, I don't talk much. But I'm learning to talk when you're in a meeting because it actually tells your intelligence level, who you are, and all of that. So I've learned that one too. I even came to learn temperaments in church. And I look up to my pastors so much. Getting married was all my pastors. It's never a thing that anybody will tell you at home. But my pastor will tell me all of those things. But you see, the things that was very different, like exposure and all of this, I could see that people have been trained differently. Some of them schooled outside. Some of them schooled even in Accra, but in some kind of schools. So they are very outspoken. I used to think being outspoken was disrespectful. So now I began to learn that being outspoken and all the exposure actually makes people like you, like the child that's
They can know what
Speaking
you're
right.
thinking.
Yeah.
They know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Can I
Sometimes
appreciate
you
your-
have good thoughts, but it's all quiet in your mouth.
It
The Bible
stays
says
in
even
your
the
head.
fool when he keeps quiet, you think it's
It's
wise.
wise.
It's the same way for the wise guy. If you are keeping quiet, you would think you're a
Not your
fool
fool.
because you don't know what is going on. Otherwise, you would have spoken. So now I look up to my pastors. I mean, my current pastor, Bishop Joshua Dakota Mills, Bishop Dakota's son. I mean, he's my direct pastor now. And so I look up to him so much, and the things he say, even though he's young, I mean, full of
There's so
wisdom.
much to learn.
So much wisdom. Recently, last time I was talking to my brother about something he told me that after he said, let me write it down.
So we have just about a minute to go. Sorry to cut you, Douglas. I just want us to get into how essential you think it is for men, whether it's your age or older, to be around them. We were talking about mentorship and learning from others, and we've put together the ManCode conversation. I just want to pick up your mind. I mean, Douglas, you are in, so maybe our Subri, what I think is an essential for men.
We have to be deliberate at what we do. And just as sorry, Douglas
Yeah,
was
he's
saying, Douglas was saying, there are things that you need to impact, deliberately impact. You don't have to leave it so like when you leave it, the person will imbibe it or something. And yet, life is not like osmosis.
At all.
And it's like,
It's been a while
you
since
have
I
to
heard that word.
I know, right? You have to be deliberate at everything you want to do. If it's frugality you are teaching, you have to be deliberate at it. If it's life skills, you have to be deliberate at it. There are things I do now that I learned it myself. I was not taught in school. So you have to be deliberate at everything you do.
All right, Douglas, wrap
So
this up. You've
I-
been working hard on Man Cave.
Well,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'll borrow y'all's words. Things come by impact. The Bible says the anointing comes by the laying up on hands, right? And I mean, there is impartation. It's just like the anointing. There's a kind of lifestyle that makes it different. Things gets broken out of your life through the anointing. By the anointing, that things are broken, that yokes are broken. And sometimes these yokes are embedded in our life because of our lifestyle. Sometimes you realize at a point that your temperament is not the real you. You just learn from the environment. You just get to a new environment and then something comes out of you and you're like, oh, apparently I'm not that kind of a phlegmatic. If I had gotten this exposure, I'm really this kind of a leader, right? And so, it is very deliberate, like Yao said, is by impact. And the impact can come by even somebody younger than you.
That's true.
But God may have ordained that person to teach you that thing. Sometimes a word, like I said earlier, there's a word that my pastor said, that walk in your gifts. Your gift will make room for you. Walk in your gift. What is your gift? And I just realized that my gift, concepts and ideas of events is a gift to me. And I just started organizing some kind of events that I call Theater Cafe in like somebody in drama ministry. Like, let me just organize a thing that, it's like being in a theater, but in a cafe, like in a restaurant or something. And I just did my first edition. I was like, amazing. People will not really want to come to church, but they want to come to the restaurant and watch a play, no matter if it's gospel or whatever, and you get the opportunity to speak to them. I realized my gift is helping me in ministry some way or somehow. It's just a statement that somebody said. So being around men, being together, you learn something that it will be something somebody, I do this for my son. Just that statement, you go home and the whole trend of your life.
Maybe what you need for the season of your life now.
So I'm saying this for the opportunity of this man cave that we are organizing. Not just because I'm an in-house person, I'm part of the team, but I learn practically on a job every day that being a father is by what you see, is by what you learn, is by what is imparted through books, through maybe messages, videos, talking to people, and the lessons that you learn that changes a thing in your life that will make so much difference in your son or your brother or somebody younger.
Douglas,
let's hang around with men, each other.
So that's the ManCave Fest Douglas is talking about, 28th of June. You can call to find out more about it. You can call 024-366-4623. This is a special one for men, the sunny men out there. You can come with your son, your uncle, your brother, the father figure in your life. You can sponsor your husband so you can come have a good time, meet some great men. You can call 0243-664-623 to find out more about it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming through, for sharing your lives with us. Maybe another time we get to do this again. Maybe an extended version where I can get, because I didn't exhaust all my questions I wanted to ask you, but time is running out. So thank you so much for coming through and sharing your life with us and the lessons. Yeah. God bless
you. Thank you, Ms. J, for having me.
Where men carry so much, every now and then they need a moment to breathe, connect, and be refreshed. Join Sunny FM for ManCode Festival, the ultimate men's hangout, happening Saturday, June 28th at the Alisa Pavilion from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is a space for men to unwind, reflect, and recharge. Come and enjoy authentic, thought-provoking ManCode conversations, buffet lunch, comprehensive free health screenings, including blood pressure and blood sugar checks, body mass index assessment, prostate health consultation for early registrants, dental checkup, professional cleaning, fun games, and exciting activities with great prizes, all in a laid-back brotherly atmosphere filled with good vibes and great people. Rate 1,250 Ghana cedis. Special discounts are available for men's groups and fellowships. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 or 0243 664623. Registration closes on June 25th. Bring your brother, your dad, your son, a mentor, or that father figure who's made an impact in your life. Come, celebrate the strength, the journey, and the bond of men at ManCode Festival. Brought to you by Sunny FM with support from Fidelity Bank, Kinsman Shoes, Star Bites, J.